I got to ask you about your diet too. No processed sugar, no fast food, no soda. Intermittent fasting, sometimes once a day only, sometimes a couple times a day. So take me through your philosophy on the no sugar, no soda, just clean food.
Well, sugar is pretty easy because it's addictive. The more you consume sugar, the more you want it, the hungrier you get.
Yeah.
So if you want to stay efficient and healthy, why consume processed sugar? You'll just end up snacking all the time. Intermittent fasting, so eating only within 6 hours and not eating for 18 hours every day, also brings structure into your day and into your eating habits. So you don't crave sugar anymore, because if you eat sugar and then you're unable to snack, you're just punishing yourself. I read a few books on longevity. I think something everybody agrees on is that sugar is harmful. No, I'm not militant about sugar. Like, you can eat berries, fruit, if you feel your body needs it. But it's not true to think it's necessary to consume sweet things. Not for children, not for adults. Red meat, I stopped eating it about 20 years ago because I just felt heavy every time I had it. So I guess it's individual. It's my metabolism, my digestive system isn't agreeing with this kind of food. So I normally eat seafood of all kinds and vegetables. This is the basic source of calories for me.
Yeah, and like all things, you said short-term pleasure isn't worth your future. So a lot of things we all know that alcohol is destructive to the body, tobacco, pills, processed food, sugar, but society puts that on you, makes it very difficult to avoid. So I guess it all boils down to just discipline.
Yes, and trying to identify the real cause of an issue you're experiencing. If you're experiencing a headache, one solution would be to take a pill and then the headache disappears. What this pill would actually do in most cases, it would mute the consequence, your feeling of pain. It's a painkiller. It will not eliminate the root cause. So you have to ask yourself, what is it that is causing this headache? Do I need to drink some water? Is the air quality here bad? Do I need to start getting more sleep? Is there something wrong with people around me? They're stressing me out. There must be some reason why you're experiencing a headache. But if you take a pill, you're not removing this reason. You're actually making it worse. Because this harmful factor is still there. It's like you're piloting a helicopter and there's some red signal, some red lamp starts to blink and it starts producing bad, unpleasant noise. What would you do? You would try to figure out the cause and eliminate it. Maybe there's some mountain next to you and you have to avoid it. Or you take a hammer and smash the signal. I think the good answer is quite obvious. So why are we constantly doing this regardless? Oh, because everybody else is doing it. Because there's a whole industry trying to persuade you that this is the right thing to do. So it's incredibly important to analyze yourself and try to get to the bottom of things.
So you generally try to avoid all pills, all pharmaceutical products.
Yes, I've been staying away from all of that since I became an adult. When you're a teenager, your mom would typically say, "We need to take this pill, otherwise, the world collapses."
Yeah.
Once I became a grown-up, I said, no, I don't think that the producers of pill are incentivized in the right way. They're not really interested in eliminating the root of the problem. They would rather have me dependent on the pills they're producing, so that I could buy them forever. And then I also realized, no, I'm not saying that you should never take pills. There are obviously some diseases that you can only fight with antibiotics, for example. So I'm not suggesting we go back to the Middle Ages. But what I'm saying is we overuse pills.
Yeah, it's always good to study and deeply understand the incentives under which the world operates so that you don't get swept up into the forces that operate under these incentives. And big pharma is certainly one of them. Pharmaceutical companies have a huge incentive to keep the problem going versus solving the problem. It's wise.
This is something I practice every day. I read some piece of news and I ask myself, who benefits from me reading this? Then you can end up coming to this conclusion that maybe 95% of things we read in the news have been written and published because somebody wanted you to buy some product, support some political cause, fight some war, donate some money, let's do something that would benefit other people. And this is not a problem to support causes that you truly believe in, as long as it was your intentional choice and you're not being manipulated into fighting other people's wars.
And that takes us back to the original thing we started talking about, which is freedom. One of the ways to achieve freedom of thought is to remove your mind from the influences, the forces that manipulate you. That's really important to realize. The content you consume, especially on the internet, when a large percentage of it is designed to manipulate your mind, you have to disconnect yourself. Be very proactive understanding what the biases, what the incentives are, so you can think clearly, independently, and objectively.
And again, it ties back with restraint from alcohol.
Yeah.
Because if your mind is clouded, how can you analyze yourself? You'll always be dependent on opinions of others. You will always follow the mainstream. And then whatever the authorities or whoever in charge will tell you, you'll believe it because you don't have a tool of your own to rely on to come to your own conclusions.